Welcome to another episode with me, Susie Barolo, Certified Life and Wellness Coach. I am dedicating this month, it is March 2018, whenever you may listen to it, I'm dedicating this month to parenting, and that includes if you are a parent, but it also includes you if you do not have children, because I know for a fact that you have parents, whether they are dead or alive, they still impact us. So we're looking this month at all issues concerning parenting and parents and how it affects us. Today, we are looking at my overarching theme when I'm working with parenting and my own parenting and my parents. I call it conscious parenting, and the whole crux is similar with all my other work, that if it's bothering you, it's about you, and it's up to you to look at yourself to see what issues are in your life. You are now an adult, and so let's move forward. The first thing I want to start with is a quote that I love and I've come back to many times, is that there is no way to be a perfect parent, but there are a million ways to be a great one, okay? What do you want for your kids? How do you want to be as a mom or as a dad? Our intentions as a parent are usually quite pure. We generally do things because we love our kids. Whether those things we do land our kids in therapy or not depends on our knowledge of parenting and our own self-awareness. It depends on the amount of consciousness that we have brought to ourselves, to our past, to our own parenting journey. But it's not because our intentions are not pure or rooted in love. We have this love. What do I mean by that? Let's just say that I've yet to meet a parent who sets out to screw their kid up. I've yet to meet a parent who says they say or do things to make their kid unconscious or insecure. So, why are so many kids floundering, insecure, and on medication? Many reasons, but a big one is that while we may intend differently, we enter the journey of parenting naive and without much self-reflection. We have an idea of how we want to parent and what we want our relationship with our child to be like, but we don't know how to model and act in ways that are in alignment with that vision. So we're acting out of alignment with what we want. This month, let's commit to switch that. Let's bring some awareness to our parenting and to our living. The first step in approaching our parenting is from a place of compassion. Compassion with ourselves and compassion with the other people in our lives who have influenced us and who continue to influence our kids. We need to understand that we're all doing the best we can. Going back to the first sentence of this blog, or the first quote, I want to remind you that you're doing the best you can. There is no way to be a perfect parent. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna screw up, but there are a million ways to be a great one. And so the more we look at our parenting from a place of compassion and love and just understanding maybe why we've acted in ways that we've acted, the better we're gonna be. We will not be able to help our kids if we try to change our parenting from a place of criticism of ourselves and condemnation. Instead of judging ourselves or our parents or our spouse/co-parent, I encourage you to be curious. Whenever you can move from judgment to curiosity, growth occurs. Everyone benefits. So what that means is to think, oh, I wonder why I'm doing that, or I wonder why she's doing that, or instead of she's an awful parent, or I'm an awful parent, or she's whatever. Stop making judgment and instead switch to curiosity. Isn't that interesting? I wonder why they're doing that. I wonder why they would choose to do that. I wonder what in their past is having them parent that way, if it's your spouse. Or I wonder what in my past has me triggered in this way, or has me parenting in this way. Remind yourself that your intentions are pure. You can't fix something you don't know about. So if you've been parenting this way, no need to beat yourself up. It's like, all right, I didn't know any better. But once we know better, we do better. All right? If you didn't know that your way of parenting was cutting down your child's confidence, how would you know to change it? If you don't know any better until you do any better. Commit to doing better with curiosity. Keep an open mind when you're looking at how you parent and what you do, and you will grow faster and higher than if you judge and criticize your past. Now that we have all agreed, because I heard you agreeing, we've all agreed that we're going to look at it from a place of curiosity and kindness. Let's ask ourselves these questions. What bothers me about my child? Where do I wish, or how do I wish they were different? What do I wish they do differently? What stresses me out about my kids? Those are golden questions, because that'll help you see where you get some growth, where you can have some growth to occur. As a parent, I continually come back to this truth. If it bothers me, it's about me, okay? If it bothers me, it's about me. What does that mean? Quite simple, actually. It means that if something about my kid bothers me, it is about me. I can see it as a sign, as an area where I can grow. Here's a quote. To parent consciously, we have to become astute observers of our own behavior when we are with children, with our children. I'm going to repeat that because I sort of messed it up. To parent consciously, we have to become astute observers of our own behavior when we are with our children. That's from Dr. Shefali, and she's the author of one of my favorite books, Conscious Parenting. For example, if I was good at soccer and always regretted not trying out for the school team, how might that show up in my parenting? How might I parent when my daughter tells me she's too nervous to try out for her third grade dance team? Yep, you've got it. I might parent a little differently if I hadn't had my own experience. And as I push and overrule her own inner voice telling her to pay attention to her nerves and push her in a situation where she's uncomfortable, I will be excusing my behavior because I'll be saying it's the best for her. I'm doing what's right for her. Beep, pause. You know what's best for her, and you know what's best for our kids? It's in our kids' best interest for us to manage our own emotional lives and to unpack our own unmet dreams and expectations, like my own issue with that soccer team. If I got clear on that and all nice, it's not up to me to throw it on my kid and make it part of their experience. My unmet dreams and goals actually have nothing to do with my children. I need to see my thoughts on her trying out for her team independent from my past issues. I am the adult, and it is my duty to do the emotional work with myself instead of pushing it on her. I consistently say to myself, the dysfunction stops here, Susie. At the base of my coaching, of my mindfulness-based cognitive coaching, is a widely used thought model of emotional intelligence. And I will briefly explain this thought model because it comes into every aspect of my coaching and actually every aspect of my life, but it also specifically impacts us as parents. There are 5 pieces: circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Starting with the circumstances, which also can be referred to as the facts. There are certain things that happen in our lives. Those things are the circumstances or facts of our lives. They are the objective and unbiased things that are happening in our life. Everyone would agree that they are what they are. For example, I have 3 sons is a circumstance of my life. It is a fact. I have 3 amazing and very different sons is not. That's biased, and everyone may not agree with me. Don't know how, but they might not. So I have 3 sons is a fact. I have 3 amazing sons is a thought. It is not a fact. That's biased, and everyone may not agree. I like to say that the circumstances or facts of our life could be proven in a court of law. It is raining is a fact. It's going to be a bad day because it's raining is not a fact. Thoughts. We think thoughts about the circumstances or facts in our life. So first you have the circumstances or facts, and then you have thoughts. We think thoughts. Thoughts are just sentences in our head, and they are not necessarily true. We have between 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and we get to choose which thoughts to focus on. Take the circumstances that it's raining. I may choose to think that it's going to be a bad day because it's raining. That's a thought, but it's not a circumstance or fact. From our thoughts, underneath in the thought model, you have circumstance, thought, and then you have feelings. Feelings, depending on the thoughts that we focus on, we will feel a certain way. Feelings are single words and also called emotions. If I focus on the thought, today will be a bad day because it's raining, I may feel discouraged or depressed. Actions. Our feelings lead us to take certain actions in our life. We actually either take action, we react, or we enact. If I think the thought today will be a bad day because it's raining and feel discouraged, I may choose to lie on the couch and watch TV instead of doing what I had planned on my schedule, which is inaction. Okay? From our actions, there's a result. The actions or inaction or reaction that we take in our life will lead to a result that always points back to the original thought that you chose to focus on. In this case, me lying on the couch and not doing what I had planned on the rainy day leads to the result of my first thought that today will be a bad day. Why does this matter, and how can using this model impact everything? What if, when I saw the rain, I chose to focus on the thought, it's raining, I won't have to water the plants today, and so I'll have so much more time. Choosing to focus on that thought leads me to feeling maybe excitement. And that would lead me to take action and do everything I had planned for the day, because I'm thinking to myself, I have more time today because I don't have to water the plants. So I'm excited and I go out and I do all the things that I had planned for that day. I might even get more done. And then what's the result? The result leads back to my original thought that I had so much more time that day. Okay? Mindset matters, people. It matters in life, and mindset matters in parenting. If your child tells you she's not trying out for the dance team or in 3rd grade, that's a circumstance or a fact. If I choose to focus on the thought, what an independent child she is for making her own decision based on her own inner desires, I'm going to feel a lot differently than if I chose to think, if she doesn't try out for the team, she'll spend her life disappointed like me and never try out for anything again. That's going to lead to a very different feeling and a very different result. While that is a big overview of this model, impacts everything, and I can go deeper into it if you're a one-on-one coach with me, it illustrates 2 important pieces of parenting. One, it reinforces the knowledge that my kids can do whatever they are going to do. And I get to choose what to think, what I want, feel what I want, and act how I want. I am responsible for my feelings. I am responsible for my actions, and I am responsible for my days. No one else can make me feel a certain way. No one else can. Okay? The facts are in our life. Okay? Even if someone smacks me, that doesn't lead automatically to a feeling. There's a thought in between there. I choose the thoughts I'm focusing on. Okay? No one else is in charge of my emotions or mood, nor can any action by my kid make me feel a certain way. That is not what society teaches us, but it is something we can begin to shift and model today, this month. Number 2 thing this model illustrates, if my kids are bugging me, if I'm feeling the feeling of bug, it's because of the thoughts I'm choosing to think. If my daughter chooses to try out for the dance team or not, my thoughts about her action, the fact, will determine how I feel. If I think that she's making a mistake, I will feel and act in a certain way. If I think that she's on her own path and she's an independent, well-adjusted kid, I will think and act in a certain way. So much of how we parent is because we want our kids to avoid pain or to learn a lesson that we didn't learn. This goes back to our intent in parenting. We want the best for them. I get that. Please keep that in your mind. We are starting this whole journey with curiosity and kindness towards ourselves. We are not trying to screw them up. Yay! All right, that's great news. Now, dig into the knowledge that they're on their own path. Whether you made a team or your parents always made you play one sport a season, or you have this or that or whatever, that's your issue. Your child is now on this earth, he's a being on this earth, and needs you to unpack your own baggage so he or she can be on their own journey. I want to read this great quote by Dr. Shefali again. Our children pay a heavy price when we lack consciousness. Overindulged, over-medicated, and over-labeled, many of them are unhappy. This is because, coming from unconsciousness ourselves, we bequeath to them our own unresolved need, unmet expectations, and frustrated dreams. Despite our best intentions, we enslave them to our emotional inheritance we received from our parents, binding them to the debilitating legacy of ancestors past. Only through awareness can the cycle of pain that swirls in families end. Pretty powerful. If this resonates with you, please act. Consider this your alarm clock. Once you know better, you do better. There's no need to beat yourself up, beat your parents up, beat your spouse up for how he's parenting your kids, or beat your ex up for how he's parenting your kids. We're all doing the best we can with the tools that we have. That said, you're an adult, and now you know. You have some growing up to do. Dig in your laundry basket of dirty issues. Our kids need us to support them and to love them. They need us to model decision making. They need us to model failing. And they need us to model emotional intelligence in our living. They do not need us to micromanage their lives or to try to control their lives so that we feel better. The next time something bothers you about your kid, instead of opening your mouth, how about you open your journal and answer the following questions? What am I making this mean? Why am I upset? Why am I trying to control the outcome? How do I usually parent in these situations? What could I do differently this time? That would be a gift to your kids and to yourself. Love it. Be kind and forgiving to yourself, but back off. Parenting is our opportunity to grow. When we look internally to learn about ourselves, our kids always benefit. Let's go, Warriors.